Recording in three, two. Point at things in your room. Welcome to the Irresponsible Comic Book Podcast. My name is Evan, the producer. We got Wildcard William down here, that way. And then this is our resident expert, Dylan. Oh, I can't poke him over there. My hand goes through the camera. Anyways, we're here to talk about Black Widow, the Black Widow movie. The trailer just came out today. We're very excited. It's going to happen here soon, finally.
Oh, man. I've been waiting for this movie for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
finally.
Finally, Scarlett Johansson's finally going to get her own film. Sorry, we're just poking fun at the fact that this film took forever to actually make. It was something that she deserved, long overdue, with her character, and especially after her death in Avengers Endgame. So, spoilers for Avengers Endgame and Black Widow. If you have not seen them, you are already screwed. We just spoiled Endgame for you. But
not really.
Nah, it's just like one piece of the plot.
Yeah.
Anyways, that whole scene of her falling off the cliff, though, now they won't even enjoy it. So we might as well say it. She falls off the cliff. She dies.
It's totally Clint Barton's fault.
Yeah, it is Clint Barton's fault. But anyways, we're here to do a brief review. We're not going to talk about it too much. Spoilers, obviously, but we kind of want to talk about the future of some of the characters in Black Widow, and we want to talk about at least a little bit about what we thought about it. We are not going to give it a full rating. We are going to cover it in our How Bad Was It series, and we're going to be watching it all the way back in December, towards the end of the year, as we're going through every Marvel movie every week. That will be on the back end of all the movies that have come out
this year.
That'll be in December. I don't remember exactly which week, but we have 2 other Marvel movies coming out this year. It'll be The Eternals, 3, Shang-Chi, and then Spider-Man No Way Home. So it'll be the first week of December, actually.
Black Widow will be week of December the 5th.
Yep. So the first week of December is when we're revealing that. I was like, I'm not going to tell you when, and then I'm going to deduce exactly when it is. Who would like to go first on their initial thoughts about the movie? And
I will, because I've been pretty down on this movie, and I want to see if you guys can kind of bring me up.
Down bad.
You're sexist.
Oh
no!
I just don't think she's a good female hero. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No, I've been pretty down overall with the movie. So I want to see what you guys say.
Yeah.
And if maybe what you say will bring me up on. Because overall, I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think it makes sense to put it where they put it, or even why it took so long to come out. What relevance it has with anything in the MCU.
Yeah.
It literally left me with more questions than I had answers for.
Yeah.
Or than I wanted answers for.
Yeah, questions you didn't even think you cared about, and you're like, why did you just? So I agree with a lot of those sentiments. It took. I mean, she should have had a movie in 2016 at the latest.
I think it was I think a little bit more.
If this movie came out when it actually takes place, that would make sense.
Yeah. When did Civil War came out?
2016.
Yeah.
She should have had a movie back in 2016 is what I'm trying to say. Is that's when this should have come out, and that's the latest they should have ever done a movie for her with her character's trajectory.
If it came out in 2018, it would have made more sense than 2021.
Yeah.
I know this movie was supposed to come out a year and a half ago, but I mean...
Yeah, even in 2020, it just doesn't make sense. And to, not to pander to any, this sexist idea that, but, it feels sort of it's just hey, here's this for women, in a way. Not that, that's the tone of the film, but, just hey, we know that, women want super super
superheroes.
superheroes that are females. And so here you go. Here's this
Maybe
movie
not.
for you.
Can role model on or
Yeah.
something of the.
Where
But-
something like WandaVision does a way better job of presenting a character in a powerful way and in an emotional way that's a good story. And
The story was fine. Like the story was not a bad story. The movie was. It's just, I don't think it made sense for them to put this film where they put it,
yeah,
and like
that's kind of what I meant.
come
Like,
out. Yeah, and have it come out when it came out.
yeah,
Like they didn't have to make this movie, and it making it or not making it would have made no difference.
yep,
And they made it, and it makes no difference to the story. It doesn't add anything. I mean, it kind of adds something for a
It adds.
standalone story, but it's literally that's what it is. It's a standalone story. It
yeah,
has no connection to anything that happened in the MCU at all.
yeah, absolutely.
Like up to this point, like they're trying to tie it in with the post-credit scene, and like we'll talk about that because that's essentially what this episode is going to be
Yeah.
about. But like,
I think that like what makes it so lacking is that there are no consequences. And
yeah, like so spoilers a little bit. I'm not gonna try to go into it too much, but
Okay.
spoiler for the very end of the movie. The whole thing happens where everything's coming down, right?
Yep.
And she's standing there alone, and the caravan comes up. How does she get away?
she was never put in the raft with the other inmates, with Scarlet Witch, with
Like, what deal did she make? Like, what? Like, did she just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna work for you and them"? Like, is
Yeah.
she being the double agent like she always is,
Yeah.
despite them trying
Probably.
to turn her? Like, but up to that point, her whole story arc was to stop being the double agent.
Yeah.
Like,
not continue to be it,
and then they continued
especially
to
in this movie.
be the double agent. Like in this movie in particular, like if the way that she got away at the end of the movie was that she is going to be working for the people that show up at the end of the movie, then that means that they regressed her story progression to the very start of when she showed up in Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2. Like where she's being a triple, triple, quadruple agent. Like, and the whole point of her is that she didn't want to do that. She wanted to, like, settle down. She wanted to be the family. And that's why the whole movie was about the Red Room family.
Yep.
Like, it just didn't, like, it left me with questions that it's like, how does she get away with it? Like, did she make a deal with whoever these people are? Like,
Most likely.
of course it's most likely, but then it's like at the end, it's like 2 weeks later, and she's got a Quinjet, like, and she flies off to go break the people out of the raft. Like,
Yeah, it's unexplained and it doesn't make sense. And what's worse too is that
maybe that's how she got the coordinates for the raft.
No.
Like, was it all just like a long con?
well,
Like,
the thing is there's obviously we were all told that Robert Downey Jr. was supposed to be in this film, and he had a cameo,
Yes.
and it was replaced by extra scenes with Ross, and
Okay.
it feels like there's just the thing about it is there's a whole scene missing, like there's a whole loose end, and I have a theory that like I will not get into right now that involves a 5-letter word that starts with an S and ends in rolls. And I fucking hate the idea of it. But that's the only thing that makes sense.
S rolls? What?
There's
Starts with an S with what?
I skipped one letter.
Armazola?
Scrolls.
I know what you mean.
And it just I just hate the idea that like, oh, the SUVs that roll up is actually Ross. They've kidnapped him and she's working for Fury the whole time, or like like there's nothing there that like suggests she could have gotten out of that situation if Ross shows up with that many agents to she just got done fighting this huge ass fight. You think she's just gonna fight her way out of another one? No.
I mean, she
could
She's a
easily.
burst.
But like,
She's a born killing machine. I mean, what'd you expect?
yeah, it's just like, how is she not?
So are you trying to say that she is a Skrull herself?
No, I'm trying to say that the group that pulls up on her is Skrulls, and
I
that
mean-
Ross is a Skrull,
Maybe.
and I hate that. I hate that.
Like, and then they're just trying to tie it into like Secret Wars.
Yes.
Mm.
You see
Possible,
why I hate this idea? You see why I
I
hate
mean,
it?
it's possible, but no.
Which means
No.
that we get this
No.
extra scene later on. It's the start of Secret Wars, and you know.
Yeah. Well, I get that. But you, back to Jim. Talk
Like-
to you.
I guess with the whole premise of the movie, that totally makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
It does.
Because, like, what is it? What is his name?
Talos?
No, the bad guy.
Which bad? Oh, the
No,
Jim
not right
Jim.
now. Venom.
something with a
I don't
D.
know.
Divinos.
Dragoff.
Da Vinci.
Dragoff.
Dragoff.
Dracoff.
Dracoff. Dracoff sounds.
Dracoff.
Dragoff.
Jerkoff. Did you just say jerkoff?
Samson.
Yeah,
No, like Dracoff. Yeah, I think it's
Dragonoff.
Uh,
Dragoff. Jerkoff. Jerking off.
Dracoff.
Dracoff.
Back off.
D-R-E-Y-K-O-V.
With him saying that I have been like in the shadows this whole time, like everything goes through me, like if it's a big long con for like Secret Wars, like I'm gonna be really upset, but like it makes sense.
It makes sense, but I still feel like, at least personally, I still feel like this was still like its own, standalone thing. Like
Like I don't know, like
I
guess-
mean, like they can
yeah,
tie
like-
it in with Taskmaster, Red Guardian, their
maybe,
mother.
maybe this whole movie is literally like what every part of Phase 4 like refers to, but
Yeah.
and then there's a way that it like actually makes sense in like the plot, but like
So
the movie is supposed to take place in 2016.
16 or 17,
yeah,
yeah.
event after Civil War, pretty much.
like right around then.
Like exactly after Civil War. So I guess that
Yeah.
makes like I don't know. Like
So-
it's still like it's like too long of a timetable for it to like make any matter or make it matter at all.
Yeah, because after there was a Civil War, no one was really talking about squirrels and all them other stuff before, per se.
Nope.
Yeah.
So the thing that does upset me more than like it just like not really fitting with the MCU, because like every other film like adds to the chapters, and obviously like the
Yeah.
post credit scene sort of does like right bringing in a brand new piece of the MCU to like add another brand new piece.
Yeah,
just
but
drag it away, but like
the movie is supposed to be Phase 4, right? It's not technically put into Phase 3.
yeah,
No.
Yeah, so like,
it just
The ol-
feels.
the only like connecting piece to it though at the moment is the end credit scene.
That's it. That's all that they can. I mean, they'll drag Taskmaster into that team too, but like,
Because
there's
like the bolts or whatever like
there's-
Ballard like working with.
yeah, it just like there's so much connected, and there's like this Dreykov villain has not contributed to any other problem in the MCU, and there's
Yeah.
no loose ends at the end of this. Like, there's no consequences. Like I was saying earlier, like Dreykov is dead.
Yeah,
Unless
presumably.
you watch his glasses fly off his face in fire. He's falling from the sky.
Yeah, but he apparently was in the same building that his daughter got blown up in,
Yeah, and they couldn't
Like,
find the bodies, which
and
doesn't.
no way he did he die.
Yeah,
Like
but like,
he didn't even have burns on him.
Then
And
there's-
apparently, like standing right next to his daughter when the building exploded.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. This guy has, he just doesn't like. He's not intimidating, and there's no like emotional connection to him too, which is a big reason I also don't like this. Is because there's no reason to like hate the guy. He's just a dick. He's just a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's a good enough reason to dislike him.
Like
there's- It just doesn't feel like even like to like feel like I don't feel bad for his daughter because I don't know his daughter. Give me some substance there. Like, oh, you looked at her in the window and she like gave you some sign and then you blew the building. Okay, that's pretty shitty. But like, why do I care about his daughter? He clearly doesn't love her, and that's really sad. I don't know if I just don't connect to the film in that way, but I don't see a reason to like actually hate the dude. I don't feel any sort of connection to Taskmaster. Like, the reveal was pretty decent, and like I understand like other people are upset, I guess.
Because it's not
why-
comic
yeah,
accurate.
because it's not comic accurate and it's a gender bend, which I don't care about at all. I would have loved that reveal a lot more if I'd seen a scene with Natasha like explaining what she was going in to do and why it was so important. To
Yeah,
take
the
her dad
only
out.
point we had was Loki talking about about it in Avengers 1.
Yep.
Saying Dracov's daughter? That's a lot of red in your ledger. Like, that's the only connection
Yeah.
point we have.
Yep.
With her.
Yeah.
So there's like
Like you
I
just
even
don't.
forgot about that line until like
Yeah.
New Rock Stars and like all
Brought
those
it
people
out. Yeah.
brought it out. Like,
Pull stuff from. But, yeah, there's no. I
Yeah.
just don't feel any sympathy. I mean, like I do, but like I don't feel like devastated like I would like when Mysterio takes off the glasses and you're like, Peter, no, fuck. Like I don't know, that Mysterio's like the perfect villain, but like it's not like if Mysterio's a 10, this is a 1. You know what I mean? Like Dreykov is terrible. He's a fucking shitty guy, but like there's no. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on it, but like.
William, go make us love this movie.
I'll do your best. Like, I mean, you both have good valid points. Honestly, I do not see Dragoff being like a big main villain guy. Like, obviously, he was like the big bad in this movie alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Aside from all the connections, yes, this movie should have been out much earlier than it should have been. Obviously, this movie should have been out way before Captain Marvel. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because pretty much they're all giving Captain Marvel the credit saying being the first, MCU female villain
Standalone.
bullshit.
Yeah. Female.
Standalone, like first female MCU standalone movie, which it should have belonged to Scarlett Johansson and the Black Widow movie before her. Right? But yeah, overall though, this movie was all right. I mean, yes, it had action packed. Yes, it was like, but the way I didn't see it like too much connection wise as well. Like I agree with you guys, but I see it more like as an origin, pretty much for her. Like yes, we get to see more about her family and where she did and how she grew up and whatnot. The only dislike I didn't like was the Taskmaster. I didn't like her. I didn't like her being like of the female. Like obviously, there's two types of characters for the Taskmaster, right? There's one male and there's one female, right? Or is it just only one male?
I'm not super familiar with Taskmaster in the comics. It's normally a guy.
It's normally just a guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, which is fine. I have no problem being a female villain. Being the daughter, saying supposedly she survived the explosion or whatever. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, the outfit was the costume for the Taskmaster was phenomenal. I love that. It was very.
It was a
very
great
good.
outfit. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely good thing about this movie is like I definitely fell in love with Elena. She is definitely very nice. She definitely kind of stole the show.
Oh yeah.
She definitely stole the movie at this.
100%.
Unique stuff and whatnot. Red Guardian was also pretty funny as well. He had his own funny moments. Obviously, him bullshitting, talking about him fighting Captain America. Per se.
Yeah. There's even. I mean, that might even be partially true.
Yeah, could be, but you never know.
It's not Isaiah Bradley, but it could have been like a pseudo super soldier in the 1980s.
Yep.
Which we might find out about eventually.
Yep.
Obviously, I will 100% agree with you on the end of the scene where how the hell did she get away with them? Obviously, I think that's the most logical, maybe smart answer would be saying, okay, I got away because I talked to them. I'll make a deal with them, maybe per se.
Yep.
Like, look what I brought down. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have done this without me. Like, that was the red room. And then they're like, what was the red room? And then it's like, well, it's a group
don't
of
even know.
women. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Like, that was just floating in the sky, producing clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Origin wise, this is like a really good family origin storytelling for them. Like about
Yeah.
the whole family, all of them. Now, obviously, the post credit scene it sets up for and it's just a new character. Obviously, what we saw in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is Val. Of course, we all know that Val was supposed to make her debut before
movie.
the Winter.
In this movie, yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to make her official MCU debut, with Elena being recruited into the Thunderbolts.
That's
I kind of like this end after knowing who Val is, because like originally, like with like thinking about it, like not knowing who Val is, and then you see this and you like see Val and you're like, oh, so she's just some needy lady. And then now knowing who Val is and then seeing this, it makes you think like, okay, Val is this pretty cool chick, and then Elena's like taking her to town essentially.
Yep.
And it makes you like Elena more than I think you would have originally with this end credit scene with Val.
Yep.
Because
I'm gonna be a little bit of a simp here, but yes, Elena was very cute in this.
You fucking simp. Oh,
yep, I had to
God.
do it.
says Simp Master 9000.
Anyways.
Yes, simp lord over here.
Is it
The
this-
Scarlett
is it this-
Johansson poster
Is it
above
this
me,
direction,
actually.
right? Like it's this direction,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Opposite of what you're
This way.
going for.
Just kidding.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yes, simp lord
Simp-
2000. Yeah.
Simp Lord 2000 is right on this side here.
Yep,
Follow his Twitter at
simp lord.
Chillbird. Okay,
Chillbird,
yeah.
so I will say, I do want to say, because I just kind of trashed the movie a little bit, at least its weak points. I do want to say, just like Dominic Toretto, this movie is great with family.
because
Sorry.
of family.
No, but really it is. It is a good family movie. And about, like,
Mhm.
the values
Yeah.
of family and coming together, like, even though, like, you don't get along, even though that you've, struggled in the past, and, like, overcoming your weaknesses because you have people that you can trust. And even though they're spies, they're literally spies working for this shitty dude, they find a way to come together. And some dude with a fucking huge ego, like, they rally together and they destroy the Red Room and kill Dreykov. And I think that's really, really important because,
Yep.
it's just, I mean, it shows what you could do with family. And like Dominic
So-
Toretto says,
So
family is everything.
I think I wouldn't have been upset with this movie if instead of what we got was the Hawkeye and Black Widow Budapest
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
Which we all thought we were going to get. Like, if it would have been Hawkeye, Black Widow, Budapest, I think I would have been happy with that. Like,
Yeah.
the like, they could explain the whole...
Well, like, even they could have just shown the operation
Well,
instead
yeah,
of...
because, we rigged the building with bombs. Like, they had to, like, do some Mission Impossible shit to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But instead we got a
Like, and
prison
then-
breakout scene.
yeah, we got the prison breakout scene. Like, but, like, even, like, the Clint and Natasha in the safe house for 10 days by themselves, like, playing tic-tac-toe on the wall, like, that could have been, like, a really good scene if done right. Like,
Them talking about kids, family.
well, just anything, really. Like, they spent 10 days together
In isolation.
in a isolated room.
Yep.
Like, that would have been a good scene, probably.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's compelling, at least.
Yeah, like they could have. The thing is like they, like that whole.
What I'm
like-
saying is I still want the Budapest movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I literally don't even think they would have had to make it a whole movie. They could have done a majority of what they had in this cut out some of the fluff and the travel scenes and like her getting attacked by the Taskmaster the first time, and like her, you know, on the run in that first opening scene, and then out to the. I mean, I actually do kind of like the her on the run, like that first opening scene of the movie where she's like actually on a boat miles and miles away. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good opening.
But like instead of some of those things, they can show the Budapest scene and Clint and Natasha and the development there, and then we get the, you know, interaction with the girl and what that's gonna go down like, and then her getting this look from some supervisor or from Fury or from Clint saying you gotta do it, and she's like having this hard time actually needing to pull the fucking trigger, but she does it. Like, then there's an emotional connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to go on a quick rabbit hole real quick.
Okay.
Because my brain just thought about it.
I saw
Because I don't know if you've noticed, but like with our rewatch series that we're doing, the
Yes.
How Bad Was It series, in each of the movies so far that we've gotten,
Yes.
or that we've watched, we have had a character running directly towards us with explosions going in the background and the villain chasing behind.
Okay.
Yes.
And the big scene that it first came in was Natasha Romanoff with the Hulk. Like, the first time everybody kind of, like, made a big deal about it was that. Natasha and then the Hulk making, like, a crash through it. And that's why my brain just, like, clicked, because we're talking about Black Widow.
Yes.
But we've seen that scene in
over and over.
all 3 movies that we've watched so far.
Yep.
The first time was Loki. Iron Man. Well, was in Iron Man, and it was actually Gwyneth Paltrow running directly to you, and then with the Ironmonger like chasing behind her.
Oh yeah.
In the Hulk movie, it was Banner running through the bookcases with people shooting the guns at him in the in the college. In Iron Man 2, what was it? I can't remember.
Wasn't it Whiplash? Destroying the cars? Or no?
No, we might not have gotten.
No,
that
it might have been the when he was controlling the drones, and they were chasing after both Rhodey and Tony in the skies, or no?
Potentially, it's
There's the
very
scene,
similar to
it's
that
not
scene.
running, but it's flying.
Yeah.
It's like the same scene, but running but flying.
It's when he goes to swoop her up. He grabs her and he flies up, and there's the explosion behind.
Yeah,
But there's no villain, I guess.
I don't. Yeah, we may have not gotten it in Iron Man 2. But I know we get it in Avengers, and I think we get it in Thor.
Yep.
I haven't watched Thor. I'm gonna do this watch that right after
that's what I'm
I get done
gonna
with
do.
this.
That's the next one.
But I'm pretty sure we get that scene.
Yeah. And all the
When
fights.
he is in the tunnel area trying to find his hammer. I think we might get it there.
Something like that.
We may have to watch it tonight.
We'll watch it and get back to you. Okay, what is the rabbit? What's the end of this rabbit hole? Is there one?
No, I'm just saying, I was just kind of trailing off with, because, the first time that we really made a big deal about it was, the Natasha Romanoff running through the...
Yeah.
And then my brain was like, oh, we got that scene multiple times, and I think we got it even in the Black Widow movie, too.
Yeah. I don't know why people had a problem with it.
No, we did. We did get it in the Black Widow movie. She was running straight to us with all of the debris falling down.
Through, and then there's fire in the back, and she's let Taskmaster out.
Yep.
Yep.
So we I don't know. We get that scene almost in every movie so far.
It's a good parallel to find.
I don't know. That was my little rabbit hole. Sorry.
Good job. No, I like it.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Explosions.
Okay, so back to the emotional piece of this. That sort of scene where, the lead up to Dreykov being back. Like, this is like a flashback inside of a flashback movie that just like really throws it back. So you go all the way back to Budapest. You see Clint and Tasha in the hideout room. You see him like even prior to that, like going over this plan. You don't even have to have the dialogue there, like explaining what's going on, because we've had multiple people reference this. Like you don't have to say it. Just like we were just talking prior, the Hulk scene, the intro, didn't need explanation. The visuals were enough. So you see this meeting, Clint and Natasha are like establishing this connection, and then you see this little girl, and like you don't even have to have her say anything to Natasha, but like she's like, they have like a little moment, you know, and then like you go down the road, they sit there and talk about what's going down, taking this guy down, taking him out, and like what Shield is and why it's so great. Like Clint explaining that to Natasha and why this will work, all that jazz, and then you see the girl go in. They're in the van or whatever, or in the little coffee shop or whatever when they blow the building, and you see like in the earpiece you hear Natasha do it, as she's looking at the girl, and then she like looks at Clint and he's like do it, you know, and then she's dead, Dreykov's dead, and then you cut to present time with the opening scene with Elena getting chased down, and then there's all this confusion about like, well then then you make it a mystery. You could change, I don't know, I'm rewriting the whole movie, but then you make it a mystery if Dreykov's even alive. And then there's the Taskmaster, and then like you make Dreykov actually like injured from it, and then you show the Taskmaster in the same condition, and she's all fucked up. You have this emotional connection to her. She's under mind control, and like that's been explained because of the everything else that they did in the movie. Like that just makes it a whole different fucking ball game. And that would make the I'm gonna give it a rating down the line, but that makes it from like a whatever I give it to a 5. You know what I mean? So
maybe, but yeah, if we were to rewatch it later on, towards the end of December or whatever, then yeah, maybe we'll give it our official rating on that. For that time being, you know, overall, like we all said, it was an alright movie. It could have been done better, right? Is that fair to say?
I think it was a good movie.
I think it was good.
I've already watched it twice.
Yeah.
Like that's
like the same.
Like, that's not saying like that it's a bad movie. If I've already rewatched it a couple times, like good movie.
I can easily rewatch it again. It's a good movie.
I'm here.
It's just like I love all the scenes, like the prison escape scene and that opening scene. The story just does nothing for me though. Like all the other Marvel movies have something there that's substantial that like makes me go, fuck yeah, that's good. And this makes me go, this story sucks. I don't know. Like even
why does it sound like you were getting like very aroused when you said that?
Because he was.
What do you mean?
Well, you said fuck yeah.
Fuck. It's just yeah. Fuck. No.
Yeah, that sounds just very arousing.
It's like I love Captain Marvel because like
oh dear Lord.
Like you could say Brie Larson. I don't think Brie Larson did a good job acting in it. I do like the story a lot though, and like her reconnecting to her roots and like breaking this like barrier that's been like thrown in front of her with the fucking the Kree being jackasses and like lying to her, and what's his Jan Rog like being like her going, hey, you're fucking not shit compared to me, and like you've been suppressing my powers this whole time. Fuck you, I'm about to fuck you up. Like that's fucking sick.
That it's the great
the supreme something
the supreme command, supreme control,
Supreme Commanders.
Well,
Supreme Lord.
We'll look at it when we talk about Black Widow or not Black Widow.
Supreme
when we talk about Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that. She's a bitch. Like fuck the Supreme Intelligence. The Kree's
okay.
Anyways,
Okay. Back to Scarlett Johansson. Back to Marvel's first female.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about Marvel's first female, it's actually Gwyneth Paltrow, right?
Yeah, it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So yeah. But MCU's, you know, superhero that we get to.
Well, because the first man was
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
and then his first lady was Gwyneth, who's also rescued. More on that on
anyways, okay. So,
Iron Man 3.
is there anything else we want to like briefly add without giving ratings or like any other plot holes we can find really fast?
I don't know, like, I guess the biggest plot hole was, like,
The escape.
did he actually fight Captain America?
Yeah.
Yeah. But which one?
Dude, okay, can we talk about that dude's fucking arm? Holy shit. Fucking destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay. The red guy was actually my second favorite, besides Elena. But definitely a good character. He was
The Crimson Dynamo, you mean?
It's the same.
Oh.
It's the same. I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he was my favorite.
Yeah. He definitely was like a good, he was definitely a good
I
character.
think he did kind of make the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Without him, I don't think that there's a family. Like he's the one who tried to like bring everybody together. He's like, look, we're a family again. Even though he was like the shittiest father. You know, like
and he's an idiot apparently to the girls.
No, he is.
Well, I mean, that was the whole endearing part to him.
Yeah. It's like
Is that
he like did
he's
a
an idiot, and he's trying to make amends, and
Yeah.
every time he tries to make amends,
He just makes it worse.
he either makes it worse or they're not there for it anymore.
Yeah. Well, like the thing
Like,
is, he's trying to make it better.
Natasha, I'm so sorry that I was not there for you, and you don't have an earpiece. Why don't I have an earpiece?
Yeah, like he's trying to make it better, like to make almost again in like a selfish way to like make himself feel better about how bad he did, you know?
I mean, that it was all based off of his own like
It's like
wanting to make himself feel better, but
Yeah.
like
My
He's like,
favorite.
I'm so proud of you girls. You've killed so many people. It's like what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Is
They don't like
also-
that.
Elena, you've become the most celebrated young assassin of all times.
Yes.
And
And you,
you,
Natasha.
Natasha.
You're an Avenger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can quote his lines from the movie. We can't quote any of Natasha's lines. Like we can't quote anything Dreykov said directly. Like they're just not
Yeah.
written well.
I mean, we could probably quote a couple things from Natasha. To be fair, like besides from this movie alone, I mean, we could quote on her on the
Oh
Avengers.
yeah, we can.
you know,
I meant like this movie.
you know.
Oh yeah, but like this movie, like
This movie,
like,
there's nothing she says that like hits home. Like there's no like, what is love if not grief persevering, or
Yeah.
like another. Or, like I'm just thinking of like one-liners
It's-
or easy.
it's
Like we literally
at least
have,
my-
Budapest.
Yeah.
like we literally have a Loki episode full of one-liners, and like nothing from this
Yeah.
movie fits that except for Red Guardian's lines.
Okay.
It's
I
what
would-
I'm trying to get at, I guess.
My favorite thing for Guardians, what's it called? Was in when they get ambushed by Dragunov. They're saying they shoot one trank at him. It's like they're gonna need more than, and they just shoot like a bunch of them at him. It's like oh,
Shit ton, yeah.
they just straight up just straight up light them up. Like and they're like oh shit.
Yeah, the only thing that I can remember Dreykov saying was, "This was your plan." It's like, dude,
Yeah.
what a... that's it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't.
That's
I
a
don't
good
think,
point. That's a good point.
I don't think I have any other criticisms. I think the writing was bad. I think there was huge plot holes, and I think that the story could have gone way differently. That's the only thing
Overall,
wrong
the
with
movie
it.
should have just came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and they should have came out a long time ago. Oh, but I do really like the point they try and drive home, and I think they did that point really well. I think that they did everything else around it horribly, but ultimately, the family aspect and what that meant to Black Widow, especially what that meant to Natasha. That line, she's like, "I used to not have a family," like that.
Now I have two.
Now I have
I guess
two.
that's a good line.
That's probably the only good one. Yeah.
That's a quotable line.
Yeah, that's what they tried to drive home, and that's that they did a great job with it, and so I can't be too hard on them because they did what they were trying to do. And
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I just wish that they were trying to do something different, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Movie should have just came out 3 years ago.
Yep. If
in general.
it dude, I guarantee you if it came out 3 years ago, it would be.
It would have been one of the best movies, probably.
Yeah, and I think that like when watching it in the future, and like when I show this whole saga to my kids or whatever, or if I want to watch it through with somebody, I watch this movie way the fuck prior. Like I watch it after.
Yeah,
Civil War.
watch it where it's
Definitely.
actually supposed to take place.
Yeah,
Yep.
like this is
So,
like you watch release order, but you still watch this out
Yep.
of release order. Like this is a one movie you can just say, hey, this doesn't follow release order. Even like Far From Home, like you can keep that where it is.
Well, it's kind of like the Vader saga. So like in Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a few different ways that people say you can watch it. So you can do like the 4, 5, 6, 1, 2,
Oh,
3, and then 7, 8, 9, like how they were released.
Yeah.
Or you can do it like the Vader saga, where it's 2, or so you start it with 4, then you go 2, 3, then 5, 6.
And you just leave
Because
out the
you
Phantom
learn-
Menace.
Yeah, you just leave out the Phantom Menace because it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But like,
But then you don't get to
That's
all
what's
the
worth it.
dates.
I mean, if we're gonna skip Phantom, I mean, you're gonna miss the one of the best, one 3-liner character of all time was obviously Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
but like-
and you don't get to see you don't get to see Liam Neeson as a Jedi. you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can watch it, but there's no real reason
There's
to
no-
like watch it if you're
Yeah.
just trying to figure out who Darth Vader is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you get
sure.
no backstory on who
don't.
Darth Vader is from Episode
So
1.
most, I mean, you do get like, at least a.
Besides for the fact
piece-
that you know that like his mom lives on Tatooine.
that's the only
and,
piece
like-
you miss is that he's like a slave, and his
Yeah,
brother's a
and Tatooine.
slave, and that the
But, like-
Jedi's free him. That's about.
But yes,
all.
so it's like 2 or 4 because like that's when Darth Vader is introduced, and it's like that's the big like Luke or not
Yeah.
Luke, sorry. I'm your father. Look inside you. You can see. He doesn't ever say Luke actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little known fact. We just all think he does say Luke because
It's like weird, like selective memory stuff.
Yep.
Where you're like, yes, he
Yep.
says Luke. Of course he does, because he like says
Yeah.
it all
Yeah,
the
he's
time
like-
in Episode 6.
He's like, no,
and
Luke.
then you go back and watch number 2 and 3 because that actually gives you like the rise of Vader essentially, and then
Yeah.
you get all of the other things, and then you can also watch just like the last like,
You,
or is it the first?
You
Is it the
don't.
last 5? It's the last 5 minutes of Rogue One, where he's just
guess.
ripping through the freaking corridor.
Which is one of the best
destroying
scenes.
those fools.
you,
Yeah,
you
which is
would
one of the
watch-
best scenes in the movie.
you
One
would
of the
watch
best scenes in the
4,
movie.
And then you would watch.
I believe it's 4, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Okay.
It may be 4, 5, 2, 3, 5, 6, but I'm pretty sure it's 4, 2, 3, 5, 6. We don't have to go deep dive again.
Yes,
we're
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
The Vader
Um,
Saga, the way to watch it.
We interrupt this Black Widow program to bring you Disney's Star Wars.
Vader.
Vader.
Um,
Vader has taken over.
But yeah, like, did you have anything you wanted to say in the like finishing of William?
He said my part. I overall did enjoy this movie. This movie should have been out way before than it originally did. But yeah, I would definitely, I would rewatch it again. As obviously, there was a couple good, moments. I loved all the characters. I would say, Scarlett Johansson definitely deserved this movie before, Captain Marvel. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it needed to be out before Captain Marvel. Would it have made sense for like Scarlett Johansson to get a movie before Captain Marvel? Heck yeah.
Yes.
Did it need like to be out before? No, but
Yeah.
did Marvel do Scarlett Johansson dirty by not
Yes.
giving her a solo and giving it to somebody else? Yeah,
Yes.
like. But
I mean, if we're thinking about like timeline wise, like we know what happens in Civil War, and Captain Marvel doesn't come out till after everyone gets snapped, and Fury hits the beeper to call her.
Did
Yeah.
Captain Marvel suffer for getting its her solo movie after her character debut, where she didn't actually know how to play the character in the original debut?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Jeez.
I cannot
Anyways,
wait. I cannot wait till we get to
uh,
that movie.
to deep dive again, because I want to do this, I want to say thank you guys initially for watching this video. If you want to stick with us for like 5 or 10 more minutes, we're going to talk about like the TV show release order. But if you don't want to, thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. We really appreciate it. We'll read it. We might respond if we feel like it's a decent comment. If you're not a terrible commenter, we'll respond to you.
I'm outdated.
And but I kind of want to talk about, just because like we were on this topic of release order, where we would watch these few TV shows that we have in the, intertwined within the Marvel universe. Like, which do obviously, I think that we'd have to, like, after Endgame, watch Loki first.
Now you watch the first episode of Loki. Then you watch Avengers. So you watch Avengers: Infinity War.
No, because Endgame is where
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
disappearance happens. You'd have to
So you
pause
watch
Endgame when
you
he
watch
disappears.
Yeah, you pause Endgame when Loki disappears. Watch the first episode of Loki. Continue watching Endgame. Then you watch Wanda. Then you watch
Falcon and Winter
Falcon
Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then you watch episode 5 through 6 of Loki, or 2 through 6 of Loki.
6. Oh god, that's so complicated. Well, like, yeah, that's the thing, is like, I don't know if they're gonna do a weird paradox thing with Loki where it exists. Like, you could put it anywhere and it would make sense.
So
Yeah,
they placed it officially on the Disney timeline after Endgame, before Wanda.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it was before WandaVision, obviously, but
Yeah, it's before WandaVision. It's right, like, directly before WandaVision. It literally happens like as Endgame is going on, at least the first episode.
Yep.
And then
they're in the quantum realm, or
because they're in the quantum realm and time is weird in the quantum realm, and they don't actually say how many days go by. Like, even in the TV show, like,
Yeah,
it
there's
looks
no
like it's all
indication.
happening bam, 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 but theoretically
It could have been
there's
8, 10, 10
days.
years.
There's days in between, because like there's no real feasible way that Loki and Mobius become as good of friends as they act like they are.
Yep.
If they're just sitting there for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. You're right.
so I think the show actually takes place in a matter of years.
Yeah.
Or maybe not years, but at least
to get
months.
him trained into the field.
Well,
Yeah,
at least
months.
months. So, like, 3 months, 4 months, because then it would put all of the stuff that happened after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like,
Behind it.
Yeah.
It has already happened, yeah.
yeah, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier would have already happened. Like, I think the Loki, like, final episode of Loki is going to be basically the start of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Could be.
Okay.
Like, that's going to be like the deviation, essentially. Like, we're going to get, well, maybe the Eternals has something to do with it. I don't think Shang-Chi has anything to do with it. It doesn't seem like from any of the, like, trailers that we have any form of quantum realm or diverging timelines or anything in Shang-Chi.
Nope.
The Eternals might have something to do with it. I saw a theory out there where they're saying, like, the reason why the Eternals didn't do anything until now is not because stuff was happening on Earth. It's because the timelines are diverging, and now the Eternals are going, okay, now we're stepping in.
That might be it.
Because there's multiple universes coming.
Yep.
And now
Okay,
we
that's
have to show our powers to the world, because we're the only ones that can maybe stop what's going on.
Yep.
But so we might see, like, maybe a splash of that in the Eternals, but I really think Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be, like, the real, like, first potential time that we see multiple timeline deviations
Yeah.
and like the big ramifications of what happened in Loki.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's weird that you say deviations, because, like, the villain in the Eternals are the deviants.
Ooh, maybe I said it on purpose.
Or maybe it's just a bunch of baloney and the Eternals are just there, just chilling, saying, do whatever the hell y'all want. We don't care anymore.
Well, deviants are also just,
Yeah, I know. I know.
naughty people.
I think that is pretty much
A wrap.
all
A wrap.
we got.
That's a wrap. That's a
Thank
wrap.
you
We
again.
went.
Follow us on our individual Twitters and Instagrams
Yep,
and
they're in the bio, in the description.
And-
It's not a biography. It's a description.
Biography.
so
Link to
one of the
OnlyFans in my
YouTubers that I
bio.
watch.
Oh my god.
One of the
like,
YouTubers that I watch, he calls it the doobly doo.
The doobly
that's
doo.
what you do.
He's like, all the stuff in the doobly doo down below,
In the doobly doo. I like that.
and I really like that.
Yeah,
Like the
it's
doobly doo.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Become part of the Ultra Bots with us.
Becoming ultra.
Join the Ultra. Yep.
Yeah. I'm getting very tired. I'm sure everyone can tell by now, but
Nah,
I'm
you're
tired of
fine.
recording.
You're perfectly fine.
Yeah, I gotta watch Thor.
Yeah, I gotta go watch Thor. So
I gotta go
bye.
watch Thor too.
Bye.
Bye.
We're gonna watch Thor. Bye.
We're gonna watch Thor. Watch it with
Thor.
us.